full beans in sport mode. Woohoo! Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. My name is Dietrich, and on this beautiful day, I am test driving a BMW i4. And this is by some margin the nicest electric vehicle that I have ever driven purely from a driving perspective. And admittedly, I consider myself to be an expert on cars, but not necessarily electric cars. I've reviewed several of them on this channel over the years, and I've driven a lot more of them in real life, but they just, up until recently, have never really held my interest. But I kind of have this thing where I think I'm gonna get one probably sometime within the next 12 months to replace one of the vehicles that I currently have. And strictly based on the handling and the way that it feels when you drive it, I'd have to say this i4 is right at the top of the list. This is an entry-level what do they call it? The eDrive40 for the 2025 model year. So 296 horsepower. They make a couple of dual motor versions of it that are faster. In a straight line, this car is definitely fast enough to be entertaining. There's no question about that. And I've driven some fast Teslas over the years. You know, Model Y Performance, some P90Ds and P100D Model S's. Why didn't any other automaker ever sue Tesla for ripping off their naming nomenclatures? The first one was a Model S, like an S-Class Mercedes. And then they did the Model 3, like a 3 Series BMW. They've got the Model X, like an X5 or whatever. Anyway, that's beside the point. Those cars are for sure fast and entertaining in a straight line, and the handling is decent on them. This is not as fast as one of the high-performance Teslas in a straight line, but the handling is much better. And it's a much more enjoyable car for me to drive, and it's just, you know, I prefer the more familiar surroundings with a proper set of gauges and, you know, proper blind spot monitors, which Tesla finally did add, although it's one little red dot right there in the new Model 3 Highland. But yeah, this is the first EV where I've said, oh, okay, this is worth more on the lease payment than something else. Like, I did a comparison video recently between Tesla Model 3 long range and a Hyundai Ioniq 6, which are two EVs that I've reviewed. And I declared the Tesla to be a better car, but I said that if the lease payment on the Ioniq 6 was lower, I'd get the Ioniq 6 because it wasn't that much of a difference. Like with electric cars, I think because, you know, electric motors, there's nothing really special about them. They can be more powerful, they can be less powerful, there can be one or two of them, whatever, but it's not like specific different types of engines and transmissions where if you know what you're looking for, you can really feel the difference. You know, to me, electric cars where I'll just get whichever one's the cheapest. Who cares? They're all kind of piles. This is the first one that's like, oh yeah, this is worth $100 a month more on a lease payment than a Model 3. It might be worth $150 a month more on a lease payment than a Model 3. And I was never gonna buy a Tesla myself anyway, long before Elon Musk became this lightning rod of controversy that he is today, and I'm not even gonna get into that. Tesla's fans on the internet, and you know who you are if you're watching this right now, were just so annoying for so long that I was just like, I'll never drive one of those things because I don't want to be identified with those people. Those people. What do you mean those people? Tesla fans who used to annoy me on Twitter a million years ago when I had a Twitter, when it was still called Twitter. And I refuse to call it X because that's stupid. But yeah, this car, oh, it's fast. I don't know if I end up getting one of these. I wouldn't get the M50, which is the most powerful one. That's I don't need a car to be that fast, personally. I'm going to actually dip this down into just comfort is fine for me. And look at that nice graphic. Look at how beautiful this car is. I don't need a car to be as fast as an M50 is. And quite frankly, I don't think I need a car to be any faster than this for a daily driver. I might consider the dual motor, the eDrive40E or eDrive40, whatever they call it, if like I could get a smoke and lease deal on one, or, you know, if it was like 20 bucks a month more than the single motor that this is, okay, I'll do it, fine. But this one actually gives you the longest range because all the i4s have the same size battery pack, but this one has the least powerful electric motor, so it uses less electricity. So I think the longer, slightly longer range is a better trade-off than the performance. I don't think the performance on this one's great. Could be, I mean, it could always be better, right? But I think one thing that Tesla was the first company to take EVs mainstream in the United States and really probably worldwide. General Motors could have been that company in the 90s, but they're General Motors, so they didn't do it. But one thing when Tesla, oh, there goes an old Model S right there. So the Model S, one of the big things about it, the reputation it had when it first came out, aside from having a horrible build quality, was that it was super duper fast. And, you know, it had the ludicrous mode and all this stuff. And if EVs are really going to become mainstream and, you know, have a large percentage of people, at least where I am in the United States of America, driving them, they need to kind of back down from that super fast reputation that they got and just become regular cars, you know? A lot of people buy Honda Civics. A Honda Civic Sport is not a fast car. So if you could have an EV, and they're starting to get there, but, you know, an EV that does 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds, but is affordable and has a longer range because the electric motor doesn't use that much juice, that would be probably the way to go to get them into the mainstream. This thing is fun to drive. I enjoy driving this. BMW. Motorcycle! Motorcycle, go fast! Ah, feels so nice. BMW i4. I don't know. Maybe. The one thing that annoys the hell out of me about these cars is adaptive cruise control is not standard. It's like a $500 option, which is just so petty, BMW. Come on. Adaptive cruise control is standard on a Honda Civic, a Toyota Corolla, a Subaru Impreza. I mean, it's standard on so many entry-level base model cars, and you're going to charge a nickel for it on this thing that's... And this i4 has very minimal options. The only real option of note is it's got the driver assistance package with the self-parking and the surround view cameras. And it's got blind spot monitors and forward collision alert and emergency braking and like lane departure warning and lane keep assist. Those are all the standard safety features, really. Goes a Porsche 997, look like. I do love me a 911, but only if it's a Porsche. I currently have two older cars. A 2011 Crown Victoria Police Interceptor, which is a solid and relatively reliable automobile, but I dump a lot of money into it relative to what I paid for it to keep it running, and because I'm a little bit anal about my maintenance. And I have a 2012 Mercedes-Benz S65 AMG, and that's the one that I want to get rid of. I don't want to get rid of it. I love that car, but I'm afraid of the long-term maintenance on it. And I don't know. The plan is to get rid of that and replace it with an electric car, because my commute to work is 25 miles round trip. I can do some charging at work for free. And I don't know. I've always really wanted a car that got good gas mileage, but I've tried once. I made one legitimate attempt and it really didn't work. I bought a diesel Volkswagen Jetta right after they fixed them from that emissions scandal, and the fix involved essentially making them get worse mileage. So that car really never got, I think the most I ever got out of a tank was 43 miles a gallon. And then I always buy cars that get bad gas mileage other than that, because I prefer them to be fast. So I don't know. Maybe this is the way to go. Anyway, that's all I have to say about it. I'll put a link to my full review in the comments and the description. And like and subscribe, because I'm going to do some more EV tests this year to figure out which one I really want. But I think right now the old i4 is at the top of the list. And that's what I have to say for myself. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic day, and always drive safely. Bye-bye.